As of April 2025, black ownership in the three major U.S. professional sports leagues, the NFL, NBA, and MLB, remains limited, particularly at the majority ownership level. In the NFL, there are currently no black majority owners in the NFL. The 2024-2025 NFL season features the highest number of black minority owners in league history. Notable figures include Serena and Venus Williams, Melody Hobson, and Condoleezza Rice, who are part of the Denver Broncos ownership group. Magic Johnson and Eric Holloman hold minority stakes in the Washington Commanders. For the NBA, there's currently no black majority owners in the NBA. Michael Jordan, who's the only black majority owner, sold his controlling stake in the Charlotte Hornets in 2023. As of the 2023-2024 season, there are 12 black minority owners in the NBA. Prominent individuals include Dwayne Wade for Utah Jazz and Grant Hill, Atlanta Hawks. For the MLB, there are no black majority owners in the MLB, according to a 2023 report by the Institute for Diversity and Ethics in Sports, TIDES. None of the 40 individuals considered majority owners are black, with 39 being white men. While specific numbers are not readily available, black minority ownership in MLB is minimal. Notably, Magic Johnson is part owner of the LA Dodgers. Despite the increasing presence of black minority owners, majority ownership remains elusive due to significant financial barriers and systematic challenges. Initiatives like the Black Ownership in Sports Symposium aim to address these disparities by providing resources and pathways for aspiring black owners.
Should we come get a treat?
The Apollo was a shorty. Now I got a clip full of hollows in the 40. Louis Gucci's every now and then. Maury's take too long to come back. Send for me. Know how to work it. Big things pop on the underground circuit. Maintain till it surface the nerve of these peasants. Treat a rap bunch like a bird high stretching. Think they get the message. Waters, Dutchies, lot of herb in the session. So-called tough guys. Herbs with aggression.
Peace and blessings, y'all. Michelle and I were up for Easter morning, just cleaning up, rearranging the living room and stuff, and then, so I'm loving the dishwasher now, right? Who would have thought? So I ran the dishwasher this morning, right? And then Michelle just got up, and she was like, "Did you run the dishwasher again?" I was like, "Yeah." She was like, "'Cause I did it last night." You know what I mean? I get so excited to use a dishwasher now. Yep, the little Cascade bag that I bought. There's, how many are in there? 9?
Yeah.
9 of them. And it was like $6 for that little Cascade thing. So you're right, baby. They are expensive. Do you do 2 or 1?
1.
But what if? Okay.
I only do 2 if things are heavily soiled.
See, that's the one thing I don't like about a dishwasher. Is I feel there are some things that you end up having to kind of half wash or rinse off real good before you throw it in there.
Well,
because some stuff you can just tell it ain't going to come off. With one pot, too?
Right, with one pot, though, yes. But,
really?
Definitely, because it's an older machine, too.
Yeah, that's true.
You have to rinse stuff off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, y'all, so it's Easter morning. Happy Easter. If you celebrate. Some people don't. We're having Speed Queen today. What, baby?
He is risen.
He has risen. Yeah, so we're just doing some spring cleaning, y'all. Rearranged our living room and stuff, and just, you know what I mean. And having some coffee. And yeah, our festivities start at 1. We're having Speed Queen. I might have said that already. Looking forward to that. But for now, I'm gonna have some of this. That crumble pie was good as hell, wasn't it, baby? The apple crumb, man, that was good. We warmed it up for about 30 seconds. It was real good. How's your first sip, baby?
It's too hot.
That's too hot.
Yeah.
If Trump, because what does he always say when he talks about the migrants and immigration? They're murderers, they're rapists, they're terrorists.
Mental patients.
All that stuff. And if we're just being honest, how's your first sip, baby? If we're being honest, see, we have to be able to talk about race. And the reason why people get mad when you bring race up, I mean, I know it's a touchy subject, right? But here's the thing, and it's not even anyone specific, but okay, we know there's racism in the world, right? We all acknowledge that.
Yeah.
All of us do. But no one wants to be called a racist.
Right.
So then where are the racists?
Especially when they're not.
But a lot of times, the people that we are calling racist, they are. They just don't want to accept it. They're naive to their own. They don't even, like if you try to explain to a person why something is racist, even if it's a racist comment or insensitive comment, and you try to explain it to them, they'll get bent out of shape sometimes.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But if all what about all? See this guy. Listen to him real quick.
Process. It was rejected. Okay.
They're talking about MS-13, right? All this, they want to get all these gangs out. What about all these white supremacist gangs? That's what I was saying. I wasn't trying to be like, it wasn't my goal to wake up this morning and pick on white people. But when Trump is sitting there saying we're getting out the gang members, the terrorists, the rapists, the murderers, who does most of that stuff? And I looked the numbers up too, y'all. So I'm not just making this up. 67.9% of all crimes committed, this was in 2019, they didn't have the 24 stats up yet, 67.9% of all crimes were committed by white people. It was 29-something% black, and then it was like 4% other. So if you're getting all the terrorists, like there are all these white supremacist like gangs, white supremacist gangs, what black group that you can find anywhere are running around like basically terrorizing people? Like that white supremacist group did to them black kids down in Tennessee, just like basically stalking them.
No one's doing that.
No black people are doing that. So my point is like, so there are racist people out here, and if you call somebody a racist, like no one's a racist, but we all acknowledge there's racism, but no one's a racist. So who's a racist? Where are the racist people at then?
Right.
That's what I'm saying, and no one wants to talk about it. And the people, oh, well, I didn't own slaves, but your ancestors did. And the reason, and I say this a lot, the reason I feel that Jewish people don't, like they get the racial, or what they perceive as a racial comments or whatever. I don't know, I'm not Jewish, so. But they get the negative comments thrown at them, right? And stuff like that. But other than that, the Jewish community is strong financially. You can't really tear them down. And they run and own a lot of stuff. So other than people hurling, insults at them, which they can get over. But like it's different. Like I'm saying, at the Holocaust, if that community hadn't recovered financially, for the most part, Jewish people, you'd be hearing more bitching and complaining about the Holocaust, like how we as black people talk about slavery still, because we haven't recovered from it overall as a community financially, overall. So that's why you're here.
There's a different kind of empathy for the Holocaust than there is for slavery.
Why is that? See, it's race. That's where you got to bring it back to race again, which no one wants to. That's what I'm saying.
That's the only difference. That's the only thing. You hate to think that that's why,
but
right?
That's what you have to.
But there's
come
no
back
other.
to.
There's no other reason.
Right.
Because both groups of people were horribly treated, were murdered, were
all of that.
And the only difference, I guess you could say,
slavery was worse though.
Yes.
Slavery was a 10. The Holocaust was a 9.5.
I think because it lasted
worse.
So much longer.
That too, and it's still the residual effects are still financially.
Yeah.
A lot of us don't even really know. Like our family trees are kind of broken and fragmented and all over the place because of all the.
Not to discount what happened to people by the Nazis at all.
At all.
That was horrible. But it was like it didn't last for 200 years, right?
400 or whatever.
You know what I mean?
Even that's up for debate.
Right.
Because like we were saying last night, because people when people say, "Oh, well, slavery's over," though, it's not for people in my situation, y'all. Just for a second, put yourselves in my shoes, just for 2 minutes here. I'm on parole. I'm a slave to the state, basically. Not mentally, I don't feel that way about myself, but like legally, I am. You know what I mean? When I was in prison. When I gave y'all the example about when I was in boot camp and they had us way the fuck out there 10 minutes from Minnesota out chopping down tree limbs and tree branches. What would someone get paid if they did that kind of job on the street? At least $20 an hour, 18. We were doing it for $1. That's slavery. But there's this narrative, kind of just overall. I said overall. There's a narrative of well, fuck that. You do the crime, you do the time, like that. You know what I mean? And that's as far as it goes. But if people will really listen to us when we say slavery's a real thing, people are in prison making 15 cents an hour. They'd be like, oh, that's fucked up. Well, that's slavery. Slavery is still a thing. But if you don't respect prisoners in general as a whole, no one's going to really be like, look, slavery is still going on. It is modern day slavery. Why aren't people knocking on these prison doors?
Right.
Instead of trying to, you know what I mean? Because
there's just a lot of inequities between the two. Like a person of Holocaust lineage isn't going to be denied a job because of that lineage, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you look at it that way.
Because they got that white skin. I'm not saying it like, oh, shit, I'm just saying they have white skin.
They're not going to be denied a job or housing or benefits or being able to
get a loan or a mortgage. Or
just, be able to walk amongst everybody without being physically labeled, you know what I mean?
Stereotyped. Oh, here comes that black guy, lock the doors.
Right. People aren't like, oh, here comes that Jew, lock the door.
Exactly.
That just sounds crazy to say, right?
It's and that goes back into that stereotypes. It's it's for some reason, and I don't know, well, I know why, because they were brutal and stuff, but I don't know who told. And I ain't saying this shittily, but I don't know who told white people they were the standard and everyone else is underneath them. And you see that play out in a lot of stuff. We talked about it, I'll just give a quick example. If you're around, let's say it's one black dude and he's amongst three of his buddies, right? 3 white buddies, and they're just kicking and talking and shit. And then the white guys start talking about how they were watching Friends and shit. Hey, did you see that episode? Ross and Rachel broke up, blah, blah, blah. And then the black dude, who probably don't watch Friends, he's heard of Friends. maybe casually watched a few episodes here and there.
Right.
But he don't know all that. Right. And then they're talking about it. And then they're like, dude, did you see that? And then the black dude's kind of sitting there. He ain't involved in the conversation because he don't watch Friends. Right. And then now they're all like... Sorry, we had to pause for a second. Marley and Chewie were in a little stare down, like they were about to get into it. Yeah. Oh, that would be cool as hell. Yeah.
Like, that's one thing.
In Cali, they do that a lot. They have washers and dryers in their homes and stuff. Don't they? Because, like, when we watch them House Hunters and stuff, they'll be having, like, the washer and dryer inside
like
of the...
in the kitchen or something.
Would you like that?
I wouldn't mind it.
It's convenient. But it could be loud, too, at times. Like, if you're up and someone's sleeping and you're trying to want, like, that could be an issue. If you have your laundry.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I like about it.
Yeah, so we're still just rearranging stuff. Yeah. We have a lot of stuff. Michelle has so many clothes. You have a lot of clothes.
I know, but I have to have things for different occasions.
For sure, yeah. I can't wait to smash that barbecue. And the rolls, mashed potatoes, huh? Yeah, barbecue's gonna be good. The rolls. I wonder what we're gonna have for dessert. I never asked her about dessert. There'll probably be like pie. And stuff like that. We'll definitely get like little Easter baskets. She'll probably have some like red vines and stuff for it, like the Snickers and stuff like that. Ooh, the Reese's cups. So I'll be bringing some of those home. Little snacks. Yeah. But we don't like rib tips. We like just the regular, barbecue rib.
I'm not a fan of.
I don't like tips. Yeah, they.
It just seems like a pile of knuckles.
Yeah.
Just.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and then just, you order greens too, right? You get greens?
Yeah.
So we're having all the, I got, ordered black eyed peas too. I should have mentioned cornbread.
You did.
I did? Oh, nice. Oh yeah, it's going down. It's gonna be good. All right, y'all. Enjoy your Easter.
Your stomach empty.
Huh?
You got to keep your stomach empty.
I know. I'm starving right now. I was going to eat a bowl of cereal, but I'm like, if I have one bowl of cereal, I'm going to end up having another bowl of cereal. I can't just eat one bowl of cereal.
Oh, really?
And I don't...
8:30, though.
Maybe...
We're not eating till...
ours is at 1.
1:30.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah. Maybe I'll just make some toast or something, if anything.
That's
or
right.
Try this peanut butter out. We got fresh thyme, old-fashioned peanut butter, creamy. So does that mean it's like, we got to probably like stir that shit up real good. I bet it's super oily too. Are y'all creamy or crunchy peanut butter? Oh, baby. I was asking people what their pet peeves are. I'm putting you on the spot real quick. Think of 2 pet peeves of yours. And they're yours, so, like, it don't even matter how petty people think it is. Like, we all have pet peeves, y'all. All of us do. So, you can't be saying, oh, that's petty.
Oh, yeah, you have to stir it.
Yep, that's what I assume.
My pet peeve is furniture on angles.
Michelle don't like things kitty corner.
I don't like anything kitty corner, so very irritating.
Is she just phone baby?
Yeah.
Okay.
And what's my other pet peeve? I'm just trying to think of what another pet peeve of mine would be.
Some with maybe driving or something, maybe. I know I hate when people don't signal.
Yeah.
Michelle might be the only person in the world ever that doesn't have a pet peeve.
No, I mean, I don't have things that like make me
Well, they don't have to, like, drive you nuts. Just little things that you don't have anything that irritates you?
Everything.
Are you a human being?
I am a human being.
You don't have a pet peeve. We all do. All of us do. Kids have pet peeves. They just throw tantrums.
Yeah, I guess I would say, like, my biggest pet peeve is people not respecting my boundaries. My mental boundaries, I should say.
So that's a huge pet peeve. You got a big one.
That's a big one. But I also am not very good at expressing like, if I want to be left alone, I don't express that.
Like, verbally, you don't just say, like, but does anyone do that?
Like, I just need a minute.
Oh, I can't do that either, because I feel like that's rude to say to somebody. I wouldn't do that. I couldn't be like, oh, I need a minute.
But you could say it in a respectful way, like, I'm really stressed out, I just need, like, some me time. That's not being rude.
What about this? Could that work on a holiday? What if, here, let's create a scenario. What if, okay, today's Easter.
What if I didn't
scenario,
feel like being around my family?
Let's say ain't your scenario at all, but, like, let's say your family didn't like each other, and, like, no one wanted to come, and you know the environment's going to be shitty, and it's not going to be a good time. Like, do you put that out there, or do you just go? I guess I'm asking everything else. Our situations aren't like that, thank God.
I think some people would tough it out.
Man, that's tough.
And then other people would be like, I'm not going. It just depends on, I'm somebody that puts others before myself.
You do most of the time. Every once in a while you can be a little selfish.
Every once in a while.
But it's for stuff that really matters.
Yeah. But for the most part, I don't put myself first. So I guess that kind of is a pet peeve of mine, that I don't put myself first.
Okay.
I can have a selfish pet peeve.
You totally can.
Because I really should do that. You know, I'm always worried what other people think, I guess.
Or you're always wanting.
I don't want to hurt somebody's feelings, or, like, I don't like it when people don't like me. Just in general.
I think all of us feel that way, though. Some of us will say that we don't.
Some people say they don't care.
That's a lie. We all care what people think about us. Some of us more than others, but we all do. Because as human beings, we need human contact.
Because I also feel like, well, what did I do to make that be a thing?
Right.
And there are just people you just don't like. And it's not anything they did or said. You just don't like them.
Or they just have a punchable face.
Yeah.
Who has a punchable face?
They just have I love it. That's a good one. You just have a punchable face.
I know who has a punchable face.
The Orange Man?
Him and that Stephen Miller.
Oh, that snivelly looking guy.
Oh,
he
my
looks like Jared Kushner a little bit.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
When you look at him, you just want to punch a hole through his face. He just looks like the devil. He looks sneaky. He just looks,
He just looks sneaky.
He just looks like a turd.
But yeah, there are some people that there's nothing you've done or said. You could have been the nicest person.
And like you tell me,
they just don't like you, and that's okay.
And you tell me that too, like, don't take things personal. Like, things aren't personal. Like, you got to let people be who they are sometimes.
Yes.
Because, like, if someone does something or says something shitty or whatever, it's like, well, that's them, though. It ain't really about me. That's them. Like, I'm just kind of,
collateral damage in a way.
Yeah, right. So, and that's what most things. It's like, we're our own worst enemies.
Right.
And then white supremacy is second.
Right. Because to me, like, I just don't want to rub somebody the wrong way. I don't like that. I don't like that feeling like,
You don't
well,
like that
I caused...
negative energy in the air and like, you like things to just be...
Well, and I caused that, I feel like I caused them to be rubbed the wrong way,
But
right?
can you make a person feel a certain way?
No,
They choose to feel that way.
Correct.
Because, that's one thing. People be like, you made me mad. You made me... No, you chose to get angry.
Right.
You chose to get angry.
But I also don't like it when people apologize and say, I'm sorry you felt that way.
That's some bullshit. I hate
That's
that too.
a half apology.
It is.
I find myself almost saying that, though, sometimes. Because I'm just like, well, I don't feel like I was wrong.
Exactly.
But the polite thing to do is to apologize.
Right.
So then you end up saying, I'm sorry you feel that way. I don't think I'm sorry you feel that way is a bad apology.
It's not.
Saying, I'm sorry you feel that way.
It's saying
but
like, I'm sorry that you think that fucked up way. It's fucked up that you think that way about things.
Right, but then at the same time, that's not really... But so there's a difference if you say, I'm sorry if you felt I did that. That's not an apology. That's not an apology. That's like putting it back on the person.
Exactly.
But I guess you could say, I'm sorry you feel that way. Not, I'm sorry I made you upset.
Well, it's too bad you feel that way.
Yeah.
It sucks for you.
It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that you're
you
weird.
have to live with that.
Yeah.
It's bad. So sorry.
Part of me feels like I wish I could be a little colder in that respect, like, and not care. But it's just my nature.
You got that quiet assassin in you.
Yes, I do.
And when you do get upset, though.
Watch out, world.
Right. And those would be the ones, though, that are kind of chill and don't really...
Because you just let stuff roll.
And then when you snap out, you snap out. Because you've been holding all of it in.
I mean, I probably have, like, a good 40 years of rage going on. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But someday it's going to explode. Yeah.
Everywhere.
No one is safe.
No one is safe.
Yeah. Like, but you know what? When I do have my little mini explosions, when I do them? When I'm alone. Because I don't want to put that on anyone else. Like if I'm mad, like if I get mad about something, I end up like getting mad about everything.
Right.
So then like that's when I'm like, if I'm alone in the car, I'm just like, well, fuck that elevator and fuck that person that didn't turn on their turn signal and fuck this world and blah, blah, blah. And then I get it out of my system and I feel better.
A little self-talk.
Yeah.
You gotta self-talk. You have to.
I'd rather like yell out loud.
All the time.
I'd rather yell out loud to myself than take it out on a person.
True.
Because then I feel like it can escalate.
And then you
it can go somewhere. It can go somewhere you don't want it to go.
I wouldn't have said that shit.
Yeah.
And you can't take it back, like the toothpaste
is
out the tube
at that point.
Especially if it's something real shitty. It's like, but sometimes I feel like people say shitty comments to each other. They'll say stuff that they know the other person, that it'll get them, no matter what it is. You know what I mean?
Oh, so like they go for the jugular?
Because they know that it gets that person upset. Like kind of how like when racist people call us the N-word.
Yes.
They know that
They know. They know that's going to get you.
And they know it's coming next.
A hole in the face.
A hole in the face. Mm-hmm. Some skin slapped off the face.
Yeah.
I am going to have a bowl of Honey Nut Cheerios, y'all, and some toast. Yeah, just so I'm not starving.
You ever notice toaster cords are so short?
They are.
So are coffee pots.
And always shake your toaster out. You know what I mean? Just to make sure nothing's inside of there. I like turn it over and like shake it out. Listen real quick. Oh man.
Isn't there a little compartment on the bottom?
Oh, there is. Yep. See, I'll be turning it over.
Oh, not that one.
Shaking it.
But
right
usually.
Here.
Oh, ooh, take it out.
I don't want to look at it.
Oh.
Ooh, it's clean. Just
It's not
crumbs.
too bad.
Just some little crumbs. Yep. Ooh,
You know
let's
what
see
your
where this
biggest-
toaster is made.
You know what your biggest pet peeve probably is?
Which one you think, baby? I named a few
I know, but bugs.
earlier. Who?
Bugs.
Bugs. Oh, yeah.
So, like, I went to this retirement party, and I didn't eat all day.
Where is this made, baby? We're checking to see where our toaster is made randomly.
Let's just see. Made in China.
China. What kind is this?
Some no-name brand. So I went to that retirement party. I didn't eat all day because I knew they were having food. And I was like, oh, they're going to have a good spread. And then...
As I'm preparing my food.
Oh, damn. Maybe not a good story. Oh. But as I was waiting, like, there were a lot of people around the buffet items, and they had, like, it was the kind of holders where there was a roll-away lid. You know what I mean? Like, it goes back.
Yeah.
So, like, I was like, okay, everything's covered, right? I'm feeling okay about it.
Mm-hmm.
Saw something in the air.
Oh, the fruit flies.
Yep.
It ain't even summer yet.
Right, and I was like, oh, I can't. And then somebody was like, oh, aren't you going to get food? I was like, fruit flies.
As they were grabbing food.
Yes.
They're like, whatever. Like when we went to Quick Trip.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we'll tell the story real quick. We went to Quick Trip. This was probably like maybe a couple years ago already.
Yeah.
We went out to the Quick Trip out there in Mekwani. We went out there. So we went there to get the little sausage McMuffin with egg sandwiches, right? So we were walking over there, and we were about to reach and grab for one, and we saw, like, the little fly. Not the fruit flies, but fly. It was
standard house fly.
the standard house fly. It was, they were just jumping all on stuff, landing and stuff, jumping, flying around and stuff. So we were like, nope, we're good. You know what I mean? Basically did like an about face, turned around. And then because we said it too, we're like, oh, there's flies flying on those. And it's literally as we were saying that, this white dude walked up and he just went on and grabbed one like it was nothing. He had to have heard us. There's no way he didn't hear us.
He was probably like, oh, it was on the wrapper, not on the food.
Which you're going to still touch with your hand.
Right.
And all that. That thing's probably been on that same breakfast sandwich about 20 times.
Right.
He just grabbed it like it was nothing. I was like, wow.
Gross.
So that just says a lot. So yeah, what did we end up getting? Oh, we ended up getting the donuts because we like going there for the Glazers donuts.
Yeah.
They actually make them here and stuff. They did a shout out Wisconsin Foodie. They did a episode on that. I forgot where the place is, but yeah, they make the donuts out there, them Glazer donuts. But that was crazy. And what do you think their argument would be? Like you said, oh, it's wrapped. They don't think that's nasty.
Yeah.
Because it's wrapped.
Yeah. And I kind of feel like older people
Are more like that?
are more like that.
Yeah, and I believe, too, older people, overall, will save stuff longer.
Yes.
Older people say some meat in the freezer for 2 years and say it's fine. Oh, I've had that in the freezer for 2 years. Oh, it's good. It's frozen. Been in there 2 years.
Yeah.
That's...
There is like a USDA has issued like a guideline, like how long you can freeze ground beef for.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because if you look at the packaging, it'll say use or freeze by
Right.
a certain date. So I'm okay with that, but you're not.
I'm not. If
Which
some
makes
was...
grocery shopping difficult.
That's true. If some was going out of date tomorrow, like if that bread was going out of date tomorrow, and there were a few pieces left in there, I probably wouldn't even eat it. I would just wait till we got to the next time I bought bread again. But this fresh time bread is pretty decent too. And I think toast is done too.
Oh,
Melt this butter up a little bit.
cancel button.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, there's some in that butter dish.
Oh, this one? Okay, perfect.
the other butter dish, too. There's some there.
So, yeah. All right, so.
You're not going to have the peanut butter?
No, I'm just going to have some toast.
Okay.
And,
do you not like it that you have to stir it? Okay.
I like the consistency of it, actually.
Yeah. It seems like it wouldn't break your bread because it's smoother.
All right, y'all. Let's see. Toast.
That'll hold you over.
This will hold us over till 1.
Yeah, I'm not eating.
Okay. All right, y'all.
That Abrego, am I saying his name right?
Mm-hmm.
Abrego. It's like he doesn't have asylum, but they just said like he can't be deported to El Salvador, and that's exactly what they sent him.
Right.
And they're just like, so they're like, well, he can come back, but we're just going to send him somewhere else.
My whole thing though is he hasn't committed a crime.
Right.
He shouldn't even be in jail. That's my whole thing. Before any of that other stuff, he don't even. It ain't like he committed some crime and they're out looking for him, and then they found him, took him to jail, and they deported. He don't even have criminal charges pending.
Right.
Why is he even fucking
and
in
I just
jail
feel
at all?
that like the people that have their paperwork started should not be deported.
Exactly. What's the point of doing the damn paperwork?
Because they've already paid money. Like they've already. That is really expensive. Apparently. That's why people don't do it, because it's cost like tens of thousands of dollars, like lawyer fees, court fees, like I don't know what's all entailed in it, but it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
You go to 20 different hearings.
And now when you go to your little hearings, they're locking you up.
So I just feel like, I understand the whole, the deportation stuff. Like, I understand it to a point. But, if somebody already has their stuff started, you should allow them to finish that process. And then decide. Like, if it's like, okay, we're not, because of XYZ, we're not granting you citizenship.
Right.
Then that's fine.
Shit, well, they should start, if it's truly about getting criminals out, then they should be kicking some of, they should be deporting these white terrorist groups back to Europe.
Yeah.
That's where their lineage is.
Yeah.
Send them back there. These fucking, these white supremacist gangs, that's what they are. They're terrorists.
Right.
They're getting sentenced every day in prison. I looked up just randomly, white supremacist killer sentenced. And there was a case that came up. It was out of Idaho or somewhere. I forgot.
But has he even designated these...
When he was in a gang. It was a white supremacist gang.
But has he even designated those groups as terrorist
groups? That's
groups?
the thing. That's because that's their...
Right, that's their base.
They don't want to pick on their people.
Right.
Because they want to make the black people seem like the criminal. The stereotype is that the black person's the problem.
Right.
The brown person's the problem.
Right.
So they can just keep using that bullshit stereotype.
Yeah. And I was mistaken. I thought MS-13 was a Mexican gang.
Or Venezuelan?
It's international.
Okay.
I was, for some reason, I thought maybe because you hear about it more happening, on the news, like in Mexican cities.
There again, another stereotype.
And I believe they probably have a large problem with it, but it is all over.
Yep. It's all over the place.
Any Latin country, I guess, has...
Because we did
like
an episode last
week.
We listed all the white supremacist groups. Just here in Wisconsin, there was like 13 of them or something
then there's those weirdos that dress them like FBI agents, but they're not.
And they'll be having the masks on and shit. Those, and you know what, too? Those
riding around in U-Haul trucks.
Those would be our policemen, firefighters, doctors, lawyers, teachers.
Why do you have a mask over your face? Because you don't want people to identify you? But if you believe that you're not doing anything wrong, why are you disguising your face?
Because you know it's wrong.
Right. Exactly. Man, I really wish there was a way that we could open our windows more.
All right, so I'm going to finish my cereal and toast. Enjoy your Easter. Enjoy this episode. And I'm glad the Roseanne show or the Connors or whatever that shit is, I'm glad that shit is over and done with. Well, fuck Roseanne Barr.
I didn't like her.
I liked that John Goodman was cool.
Okay, so the Connors, they, like, killed her off the show.
Good.
And the show was really funny, like, after she was off. Because then, like...
She just went
like the mom from Married with Children was on there, that Katie Seagal.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she was dating John Goodman on the show.
Oh.
And, like, the children are, like, adults now with their own kids. And just, like, that whole, like, lower-class struggle in America kind of thing.
No, I was when white people attached to them because they were, like, poor white people and shit.
Right.
So, those people that liked it that.
But
Roseanne just went strange town.
Yeah, she went strange town. But the rest of the people, like the characters, they're relatable to most of America, who's just like,
just
you're trying to
everyday
feed
working people.
Yeah, just everyday working people trying to pay your bills.
Every day, yep.
You know.
They got the couch that they've had for 20 years.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
Same TV for 18 years.
Yeah. Eating SpaghettiOs for dinner.
Yeah.
But I think it's in its final season now, the Connor show.
Yeah, I heard.
Okay.
They were talking about the last episode. That's why I was saying I'm glad. It's called Ripple Effect. Roseanne Barr fucked that up.
Yeah.
She started all that demise with the way she is.
Yeah.
That show suffered because of that. Because people started looking at it differently. Because people used to like Roseanne Barr.
Yeah, like I thought she was...
Some people liked her, some people didn't.
She was edgy but funny.
Who was she married to?
That one comedian guy.
I forgot his name, but like it was like people were kind of picking sides.
Yeah. When they got divorced, it was like a big thing, right?
So it was like, what side are you on? Roseanne's side or his? I forgot his name. But then just out of nowhere, she just started just saying a bunch of racist bullshit. We're like, what the fuck? And then and then she became this big Trump supporter and like just saying weird things. Just strange stuff. I'm like, what's wrong with her? Is she on pills or something?
Right. And which is funny because that's how they killed her off on the show. Like she overdid. Yeah. Because they said like she was taking pain pills for her knee and overdosed or something. Is Charlie still asleep? Not gonna wake up.
Oh, baby, you got to put your player in too. I'm playing Paolo Banchero for Orlando because they're playing Boston. I think Orlando. I could see them getting maybe one game, but yeah, I'm gonna play Paolo Banchero on both of mine. And then Michelle's got to figure out what she's putting in. I had described to them what we do, the little NBA playoff thing. You get to use one player, and that's it. You can't play them anymore. And then you just accumulate points, and whoever wins has the most points at the end of when the finals are over wins the money. Pays out first, second, and third place. I finished fourth last year, right outside the money. So... And it's a fun, a lot of our family members are in it too. My mom and Jim are in it. My brother's kids are in it. Nicole, shout out Nicole, she's in.
You say you don't think Orlando's going to go far?
Yeah, they're playing Boston. I think Boston might either sweep them or... So I'm going to start playing Orlando players.
Maybe I'll play Franz Wagner.
Franz Wagner.
Franz and Hans.
That's a good choice because I'm playing Paolo, and they'll be scoring most of their points.
Okay.
All right, bet. So,
let me pick one for tomorrow.
Okay.
Because I'm going to be busy.
Okay.
Maybe somebody from Detroit. They aren't
Good
going
choice.
very far.
Good choice.
What about
They're down 0-1, too. They lost to New York last night.
Cade Cunningham?
You want to play Cade? That's a good choice. They blew like a 15-point lead. They were beating New York early, and then New York came back. Yeah, Cade, that's a good choice.
Okay.
That was a $1 game we went to this year.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, no. That
was last year. It was not this year, but last season.
Yeah.
We went to see the Bucks when they played Detroit.
For my birthday.
Yep. That was a good time. All right, y'all. Let's see what's going on. Here's the sights and sounds of downtown Milwaukee right here. Let's see. Sounds pretty quiet out there. It's Easter Sunday. People are either cooking or getting up. I think it must be, 9 o'clock?
Yep.
Because I could just hear that church bell ringing. Ooh, damn, that was 40. Nice. That was a nice, long conversation that we were having about the world and life. Yep. All right, y'all, we'll get back to the episode. Remember this one, y'all? '80s had some of the best music ever. You know what I mean?
And that's certainly true here. And where would this money come from if not from the state?
Yeah, good question. It won't. You'll have to come from the property taxpayers of Ashwaubenon, Green Bay.
Talking about the NFL draft. NFL draft is here in Wisconsin this Thursday. Yep, 4 days, 13 hours. 50 minutes and 45 seconds. That's just going to be one big ass fucking Republican Party, basically. No one's really talking about that. So I wouldn't even go to that shit. Me personally, I wouldn't even attend. I wouldn't go. Because like I said, I can watch the NFL draft at home. And, yeah. Because most of the NFL owners, they're white fellas. And they're Republican. You know what I'm saying? I believe every NFL owner is white. I don't think we have any black or brown NFL owners. I'm going to check. We might have some, general managers. We have head coaches, like that kind of stuff, staff. But no one at the top, no one at the tippity top. You know what I mean? And that's in most things. See, you even see it. You even see that filter into sports, where for the most part, black players dominate sports. For the most part, basketball, football, even in baseball, black and brown people are the better players nowadays. You know, it's because a lot of Latin ball players are excellent ball players. It seems like as far as like sports now, like I would say the two spots or areas where white individuals still, you know, are fairly, I would say, control, or I would say dominate that kind of spot in sports would be like NFL, maybe offensive lineman, NFL quarterback, and pitcher in baseball. Oh, and catcher. You don't see, I literally just thought of that one. You don't see too many black catchers in Major League Baseball. You know what I mean? It's normally either a white individual or Latin. I'm trying to think. Just throughout just my life, I'm trying to think. And even though I'm a casual baseball fan at this point, like, I can't remember any off just the top of my head black Major League Baseball catchers, African American. I'm gonna have to look. You know, another sport too where you don't see a lot of black players is NFL punters. Like, we dominate the sport, right? The majority of the NFL is black. I'd say NFL is probably about, I'm just guesstimating, 60% black. I would say, I think that's a fair assessment. 6 out of every 10 players is black. But yeah, I don't think we've had too many black punters. I mean, there's a lot of black offensive linemen, but I still think that stereotype is that white guys are the offensive linemen, and then the quarterback, obviously, the white guy gets looked at as like, you know, the main player and shit, the quarterback. When in reality, I mean, to be quite honest about it though, overall, black quarterbacks are better. You know what I mean? Especially at black quarterbacks, I'd say over, because back in the day, like, we had good black quarterbacks, but we just didn't have, like, a lot of starting black quarterbacks. You know what I mean? It was usually, you know, like a couple. Like, you had Warren Moon, you know, Doug Williams, Randall Cunningham. I guess my point, well, I have to do some research too, but I wonder what year in the NFL has there been like the most like starting black quarterbacks in the league, whether they're really good or not, no matter how you felt about their play. I just wonder, like, what is a single year that had the most starting black quarterbacks in it? I'm going to do some research on that. $20 million they want to spend for a community center on 27th and Wells. I think that's a good idea, though, because you need stuff, you need places and stuff for people to, you know, go and do, and whether it's somewhere to go to be creative, whether it's somewhere to go and think, and whether it's to go somewhere to get some help and communicate with somebody, ask somebody for help. You know what I mean? Whether it's service, you know, whatever kind of services and stuff. And then you just got to have people that you have to have people there that care. And that's where you'll be finding a lot of the good whites, like in the River West area, downtown East Side area. You know what I mean? That's normally where you can find the majority of the good whites. They're going to be in the River West, East Side area, downtown area. But to me, the further you go south, it becomes a little uppity. And you can call it what you want, right? But until we all stop using stereotypes to kind of, you know what I mean, treat people a certain kind of, because we all do that. We all do that, some on a bigger scale than others. You know, some like smaller things, less significant things, some things more important or whatever. But it seems like, oh, excuse me, Chewy. You want to say good morning, Chewy? I was just opening the dishwasher and then Chewy decided he wanted to start walking under and say good morning. I just fed him breakfast too. Hey, Bubba. Yeah, it's Easter though. Happy Easter. I forgot what I was about to say too. Chewy diverted my attention. But yeah. But anyways, enjoy your Easter, okay? If you're celebrating. And I'll say I hope you enjoyed your Easter. Because like I said, it could be the middle of the week. Or next month or something, whenever you're listening to this. But, so, we'll just say we hope everyone enjoyed their Easter. We hope your Sunday went well. You know what I mean? And I'm about to load this dishwasher up. And, where is my coffee cup? I'm gonna have some coffee. And, yeah, chat it up with y'all some more. Alright, so I'm gonna get this first cup of coffee in. And then, we'll get right back to this episode. And shout out this Collectivo coffee. It's the best thing going. Shout out WISN 12 News. You know who I think has good chemistry on there? That Molly Bernard. She's a weather lady in the mornings. And Duke Carter. I think that's his last name. He's an anchor. He does like the Sunday news and stuff like that and Saturday news and stuff on Channel 12 in the morning. He does a good job, too. He's fairly new. I think he's only been around for maybe not even a year, maybe, give or take. But yeah, but I like their chemistry. They have good chemistry and stuff. So we got the weather coming up. It's 40 degrees right now. Let's see how this first shot of coffee is. Sorry about that. Yeah, what are some of y'all pet peeves? Let's have a pet peeve morning. Let's see. I have a handful of them. One of them, I'll just give you a few of them. I think everyone should have at least a few pet peeves. If you don't have at least a few pet peeves, what do you really care about? What are you really passionate about? Because, like, you can have a pet peeve and, like, that doesn't mean it has to, like, piss you off and get you all super upset. It's just things that bother us a little bit, you know what I mean? Like, one thing for me, I can't stand when people don't put their turn signals on when they're driving. You know, left signal, right signal, like, yeah. Because you're risking an accident right there. I can't stand that, like, when you're driving, you're behind somebody, and then they're about to make a turn, but they don't put their turn signal on literally until it's like about a second or two before they're about to make that turn, whether it's a right turn, a left turn, whatever, right? I can't stand that because that's potential for an accident right there. Because if you know you're about to make, let's say we're driving down whatever street, right? And you know you're about to make a right turn that's coming up. and let's say the right turn is about a half a block away, right? About a half a block away. Now, don't you think when you get maybe within a certain amount of feet from wherever your turn is, wouldn't you put your turn signal on? Like, if you know you're about to turn somewhere, why would you literally put your turn signal on or not signal at all? Like, literally a second before you're about to make your turn. You got to give people behind you more time to react. You know, if you know you're going to make a turn, put your turn signal on, 3 or 4 seconds ahead of time instead of 1. So the person behind you has time to react. Because they don't know you're making a turn. They don't have ESP. They can't read your brain. They don't know, oh, they're about to turn. Let me slow down because they're turning. They don't know that. That's why you have to put a signal on. Because if you don't, there's potential for someone to, ram right into the back of your car. Because all of a sudden you stop to make a turn and then boom, and then the vehicle behind you has to brake off quick because you haven't given them a heads up. You know what I mean? So, so I don't like that one. I don't like when people, cross in front of me. Really, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're walking somewhere, and they'll cross in front of you. Or here's the last one. I just do 3. I don't have a whole bunch of them, but I can't stand when you're walking, right? And then, let's say it's just you and somebody else, right? And you're walking, you're both walking towards each other, right? And it's a situation where one of you may have to move, you know what I mean? But then, you end up moving out their way or whatever, and then they don't even say thank you, or they don't say excuse me. Or here's one where you're walking, right? Let's say it's you. Here's a better example. Let's say it's you and somebody else, right? You're going towards them, they're coming towards you. You're walking, boom, 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 and getting closer and closer to each other, right? And then you're walking, right? And then let's say it's like a narrow situation, right, where there's not enough room for both of you to be side by side, right? Or to get through. So you're walking toward each other, and it gets to the point where, you both know that, one of you has to move out the other person's way, or you're going to collide into each other, basically, if you just keep walking. So, normally, when that situation happens, I normally am the one first to, choose a side. Either step to the left or step to the right to kind of avoid their path, or give yourself your own lane. So when you get closer to them, they have their own lane. You know what I mean? So I notice, I'll do that, right? You're getting closer and closer, and then, I'll move over to the left, or I'll move over to the right to give myself my lane, and then that means they have their lane, right? Why is it so many times when that happens, no matter what side you've maneuvered to, that other person ends up maneuvering to the same side you did? You know what I mean? Have you ever noticed that? You're walking and walking and walking, you're getting closer and closer, you're about to you know what I mean? They're coming from that way, you're coming from this way, and you're walking. And as you get closer and closer, you'll decide in your mind, okay, let me move over to the left and move over to the right, so we basically don't walk into each other, especially if you're strangers, because it's you don't know that someone's going to ask or say something. So then, boom, let's say you're you're walking, and boom, and then you take a step to the left, to get out their way or to give yourself your lane, and then they have that lane. Why so many times when that happens, that other person will do the same movement you did, and then you're sitting there you know what I mean? Have y'all ever run into that? And then you're just sitting there sorry. And you're just damn, well, I tried to get out your way, and then you stepped into my lane. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like when people are late and don't communicate it. It's one thing if you're going to be late or you're running late. We all do, right? Shit happens. Life happens. Life gets to happening. But when people don't communicate, And I don't really have this happen in my life that much. I'm just saying it's one of the things I don't like. That I wish people didn't do. Or when people show up late, to especially like family functions and like things that are you would consider at least semi-important. When people just like don't, like something's scheduled for 12, and then they come moseying in at 12, 16, 12. It's one thing if it's in a home environment, you show up 10 minutes later. It's like, that's not the end of the world stuff. You know, even if you don't even say something, like if you're supposed to be somewhere at noon and you show up at 12, 11, who cares? Family function, who cares? I mean, to me, that's not the end of the world shit, whatever, right? But if you're supposed to be at something that starts at 12 and you know you're not going to be there till 1:45 type shit, and then to not even reach out, say that you're running late, even if you feel like you got to make some shit up. But just at least as long as everyone's aware. But just so, you know, you're supposed to be somewhere at 12 and you come walking in at 12:36, especially if it's a public place. Let's say it's some shit like you're meeting for lunch or dinner or breakfast or whatever the situation is. And then boom, it's just like, because there's a ripple effect on that. You know what I mean? Because you're slowing everyone up. So yeah, like that kind of stuff, that's a big pet peeve of mine. Because to me, it's just like, damn, you don't appreciate or respect my time? Like everyone else is here on time, but you're not. Like, and if something came up to where you were going to be late, like why not reach out and say that? Because even when you don't do that, it makes it seem like, damn, like they don't even really appreciate or respect what I got going on, or what, you know what I mean? Yeah, so I wish people would be better with that kind of stuff. Yeah. So what are some of y'all's pet peeves, though? Yeah. Oh, and here's the last one, too. I don't like it when you're hearing somebody drink something. I don't care what it is, water, milk, juice, whatever. And you can literally hear them swallowing it. That bugs me. I know one of Michelle's pet peeves. She doesn't like people cutting their fingernails. Like when she's like, for some reason that bugs her. I never quite understood that. Like just that clip noise that literally lasts, about a half a second. I can never understand how that could bother somebody, but we're all different people. You know what I mean? You gotta let people have their pet peeves. We're all different human beings, you know what I mean? Like just to me, because to me that seems kind of like, you know what I mean? There's probably pet peeves of mine that she thinks, you know, don't make sense or whatever, or that I might blow out of proportion or whatever. But yeah, those are just a few. All right, y'all.
The sun, we get out pretty quickly because clouds are going to fill in very rapidly this morning.
Love this song right here. 80s, right? 80s be having the best music. This song was in The Breakfast Club. If y'all remember the movie The Breakfast Club.
Cold World Podcast with DVJ and Michelle, coming to you from Milwaukee.
Right behind the Super Bowl, NFL cities compete to host the draft. Thousands of hours of planning to prove your city can host thousands of fans.
Yeah, Packers have been in this process of getting the draft here for like the last 8 or 9 years, I believe it is. Yeah, I can do a little fact checking on that, but I believe it's been like 8 or 9 years they've been trying to make this happen. But like I said, to me, in my opinion, it's just going to be one big ass stupid Republican event, basically. You know what I mean? Because like I said, most of the NFL owners are white guys. I think all the NFL owners are white guys or white women. There ain't no black NFL owners. There ain't no NFL owner that's black. That just straight up owns the team. There might be some black people might be like, oh, I found it, and they might own like 1 or 2%, type shit. Excuse me, like that. 3% minority owner, like that type of stuff. But ain't nobody just straight up just owning the team by themselves. That's what I'm saying. That's the white people doing that stuff. You know what I mean? Like Giannis, for example. Like Giannis, he owns a small stake in the Bucks. No, not the Bucks. The Brewers. It's like a real small percentage. You know what I mean? Like Aaron Rodgers used to be. I don't think he is anymore, but he used to be like a small, minority owner of the Bucks. He owned like like a percent or 2 or whatever it is. Like it'll be like real small percentages and stuff like that. But yeah, no, Giannis. I think Giannis is invested in. I think that there's some other stuff too. But I know I was disappointed to see them stop going to RCI Correctional Institution. They used to go there. I know they did it 1 year. When Bud was coach, when Budenholzer was coach, they went up to Racine Correctional Institution and played ball and shit with the inmates and shit like that. Brought them shoes. Had a nice conversation with them and stuff like that. And then, boom, you never saw it again. Because when I was there, excuse me, I just flushed the toilet. I was cleaning something up and dropped it down the toilet and stuff. See, that's what I was saying. Our stuff would be just straight up, just live and raw. I'm not about to press pause because I'm flushing something down the toilet. I'm just going to maneuver the phone away from it so it doesn't sound so loud. You know what I mean? If Michelle and I took all the time it took to edit stuff and to I edited a recording. I think it was one of the last couple episodes I did. And I thought it would only end up taking a short amount of time because it was like a shorter episode. It was only like 30 or 40-some minutes long. I was there for over 2 hours editing stuff. I'm like, man, where did the time go? I literally thought I only had to do this and that, and then boom. And then before I know it, it was like a 2-hour event. Sitting there, like, damn. So that's why I try not to take that stuff too super serious. Like, until we start making money off this, or, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, which isn't really an issue for mine. That's not something I wake up and think about. Like, damn, how am I going to monetize off this fucking podcast? I swear I don't even look at none of that like that. Because here's one way you can tell. And here's one thing about me. Like, I'll get bored of something quick. Like, if it's not working out, or I don't feel like I'm not enjoying myself, or I don't like it, or whatever. It could be an environment. It could be people. Like, I'll remove myself from a situation, or whatever it is. If I'm uncomfortable, I don't like it, whatever it is, I'll either not show up or I'll remove myself quick. I'm not going to allow myself to be in an environment where it's not working out for me for whatever reason. You know what I mean? So, hopefully y'all can't hear the dishwasher too much, because I'm like literally standing right by it as I'm talking into the phone. Yeah, most of the time, just FYI, just give a little insight. I'm not sure anyone really cares or whatever, but I'd say 80% of the recording that we do off my phone. Right off the phone. Because the phone I'm going to always have on me, you know, for the most part, or it's going to be within, you know, arm's reach or whatever. I'm talking about for recording purposes versus if you're just in a scenario where you're just trying to, like, sit down, like, if you have your laptop and all your recording stuff, like, set up in a room or a certain place or a certain area or whatever, right, and that's kind of where you go to do all of your conversating and recording and podcasting and all that. To me, like, I ain't gonna say it won't turn out super authentic, but I think it could be just a touch watered down if everything is planned and strategized, you know what I'm saying? Because, like, right now, like, something might just randomly happen, and I want to be able to discuss it. I don't want to, like, be, let's say, in the laundry room. Let's say I'm washing clothes in the laundry room, and something comes up or something happens, and I want to conversate about it, or something random happens, and I want to talk about it. Or I may end up having a random conversation with somebody right now or whatever. I can't do that if I'm sitting at in my office or in an office where the laptops and stuff are at. It's like every time you have a thought or an idea or you want to talk about something, it's like, damn, I got to run over to the laptop, sit down, turn the laptop on, turn the microphone on, blah, 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 write these notes down, blah, 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 get all situated, set up. No, I want to be able to talk about it right then and there on the spot. You know, I don't like sitting there being like, to Michelle, like, hey, babe, so what do you want to talk about tomorrow? Or what do you want? Like, it's one thing if you literally have something on your mind that you just really want to go after. You're like, oh, okay, I'm going to talk about this, and then boom. And then you know, do some research and stuff like that to make sure that the information you're talking about is accurate and shit. Because you don't want to be spreading bullshit or misinformation. But when you're just having general conversations about life and stuff and the news and shit like that, I think it's more organic and just more authentic. Just to, you know, when we're sitting there having our coffee and the news is on, I want to be able to just hit record and talk about it right then and there. I don't want to have to be like, damn, well, our office is in the other room, so fuck, let's write some notes down and then go in there and then we'll talk about it now. Because then to me it becomes slightly watered down. You know what I mean? I like stuff just boom, right then and there. Because you never know what's going to happen in a moment on, you know what I'm saying? So, it may be sounding a little picky, but to each his own. To each his own. Everyone has their own style. You know what I mean? I'm not all huge into, like, I don't need people to be looking all at me. This isn't a fashion show. You know what I mean? Y'all know what I look like. You can go on my Facebook, Cold World Podcast with DVJ and Michelle. We have a Facebook page. Y'all can go hit my Facebook page up. David Velasco Johnson. That's short for DVJ. Go look my page up. You know what I'm saying?
I can flow through walls. Cause they come up smoking weed, holding guns, selling dope in halls. Said the game don't change, only the players. And the pain don't change, only the prayers. So here's the main reason I'm weeded. If the judge throw the book at you, don't snitch, take it and read it. Guess the 9 miller wake up these fools. I'm so deep, I let everybody sleep and go to Jacob for Jews. And I ain't got to mention I flip. I'm the nigga with the kilo flow, every sentence a brick. I'm the reason why they torture your girl. Listen, Dick, I'm in the black 760, but the Porsche is pearled. And ain't shit changed, still in the sewer. Money is longer, guns is newer, homies is truer. Why the fuck lie, look forward the war. D-Block, I give you the phone to call you the law. What up? 24/7, 365 days of the year. I'm getting blunted, smoking, getting hundreds. 24/7, 365 days of the year. I run the park a lot, let my guns spark a lot. 24/7, 365 days of the year. I stay live, son, ride till my time comes. 24/7. 365 days of the year, pop and float, nigga, I'm the best. Like the wind on the breezy day. All I know is hard times, puffing on my pot, never got shit the easy way. Drop like convertibles, pop like the tart in the toaster. You get close, I'ma rock you and murder you.
Sucks to be you, kid. Drugs in the music.
Boss play, I ask for the cost later. Throw it in the cut like fuck it, I floss later. In the mix like a crossfader. No DJ giving them no leeway. We be everywhere from the mansion to the BJ's. Crown on the wrist, pound of the fifth. Get around to the six, ask the town on the shit. But who's the niggas I'm shitting on? Come the money, you getting off or getting on. You see that fly shit spit on. You see that fly shit goes through the money and the weed. The guns and the knives and the cars and the ice just might form Voltron. I should've transformed on them. They was going ham on them. I was blowing grams on them. They was so swag. I was blowing